Hi guys, this is Poonam and I am going to help you understand today what exactly is a related party transaction and the legal provisions with respect to the related party transactions as are covered under the Companies Act 2013. This concept is extremely important in case you are a CA final student, CMA final student or a CS executive student. Okay. If you like this video, if this video helps you understand a related party transaction better, please like and subscribe to the channel and please share it with your friends. So guys, the coverage of today's lecture is going to include the intent, okay, about this particular provision under the Companies Act. Why was this provision created? Then we are going to learn who is a related party or what is a related party, how would you identify it, and then we are going to learn what are related party transactions and what are the procedural aspects with respect to it. Okay, so guys, who is a related party is going to be covered under section 2 clause 76, and the procedural aspects of entering into a related party transaction are going to be covered under section 177 subsection 4 and section 188. Okay, but before we go into the nitty-gritties of these sections, the details of these sections, first let us try and understand the intent of the lawmakers for creating this particular provision. Okay, so guys, now remember, okay, that before we see the definition of a related party, just imagine if a party is related to a company. Okay, party is related to a company and the company is dealing with its own related party. Okay, in such a situation, don't you think that the possibility of fraud is going to be extremely high, because company is dealing with whom? Company is, say for example, trading with whom? With its own related party, with its own person. Okay, so the possibility of inflated invoices in such a case is going to be high. Okay, the possibility of, say, if the company is transferring its property to its own related party, then there is a possibility that company could transfer it at a rate lower than the market rate. Okay, all of this could be easily done when the company is entering into a transaction with its own related party. Okay, and in the end, who is going to suffer because of all of this? The shareholder is going to suffer because of all of this. Okay, so in such a case, in order to protect the people who have invested in the company, the Companies Act 2013 has got strict provisions with respect to entering into a related party transaction. Related party transaction as such are not like banned or anything. Okay, you can enter into a related party transaction, but by following the strict procedures which have been given under the Act. These provisions were extremely important for the simple reason that majority of all the frauds which happen in India, all the financial frauds which you consider, will always involve some level of related party transactions. So in case you open your newspapers and see, the IL&FS fraud also had some element of related party transactions. Okay, then recently Indigo was called into question. Okay, Indigo, the airlines Indigo was called into question for entering into some shady related party transactions. Okay, then your Satyam fraud, DHFL fraud, the Reliance Group, whatever, all of these frauds and all of these accusations of frauds will always involve some level of related party transactions. So one of the major way in which a company commits fraud is through its related party transactions. Okay, so that is why they have created extremely strict provisions under the Companies Act 2013 about the procedure which has to be followed in case a company has to enter into a related party transaction. So considering all the frauds which are happening, okay, they have made strict provisions in order to minimize these frauds. Fine. So this was the intent of the lawmakers behind creating these procedures which a company has to follow for entering into a related party transactions. Now we will have a look at what exactly is a related party and how would you identify a related party. So guys, now let us see how will we be able to identify a related party. The definition of related party is going to be covered under section 2 clause 76 of the Companies Act. Okay, now related party is defined in context to a company. So it is with a reference to a company which wants to enter into a related party transaction. Okay, that is the company which wants to enter into this kind of a contract. Say for example, let us name our contracting company. Let us name our contracting company as Z Limited. Let us name our contracting company as Z Limited. Now we are going to see from the perspective of Z Limited which parties are considered as related parties. Fine. Now let us go ahead and have a look. The first part of the definition says that the director of the company or the relative of the director is considered as a related party. Say Z Limited has a director. Let us call the director of Z Limited Mr. Z. Mr. Z is a director of Z Limited. Now Z over here will be considered as related party, or any relative of Mr. Z is considered as related party. Okay, now who exactly is a relative is also defined under the Companies Act. Let us just have a look at this particular definition. Who is a relative as per the Companies Act? So have a look. The relative as per the Companies Act is defined as members of a Hindu undivided family. If two persons are husband and wife, they are considered as relative, and one person is related to other in such manner as may be prescribed. Okay, and these prescribed persons are given under the rules to the Companies Act, which will include the following. Okay, a person shall be deemed to be a relative of another if he or she is related to another in the following ways. This will include father. Father includes stepfather. This will include mother. It will include the stepmother. Son includes stepson, son's wife, daughter, daughter's husband, brother, and brother includes stepbrother, plus it will include sister, and sister will include stepsister. These are the persons who are considered as your relatives as per section 2 clause 77. So members of HUF, they are relatives, husband wife relatives, father including stepfather, mother including stepmother, son including stepson. Okay, son's wife, daughter, daughter's husband, brother, stepbrother, and sister including stepsister are considered as, they are all considered as relatives. So now you know what is relative. Okay, coming back to who is a related party. Coming back to who is a related party, from the context of Z Limited, Mr. Z, who is a director of Z Limited, will be its related party, and his relative, say Mrs. Z, okay, the wife of Mr. Z. Okay, let us take the example of the wife. So wife of Mr. Z is again considered as a related party from the context of Z Limited. Fine, first part is over. Director of that company or his relative. Next part talks about KMP of the company. Okay, now what do you mean by KMP? KMP is key managerial personnel. These are people who are holding positions of power in the company. Okay, so let us have a look at the definition of KMP as well. Okay, which is again defined under the Companies Act. Okay, let us see how is KMP defined. So guys, concentrate. The definition of KMP is given under section 2 clause 51 of the Companies Act, which says that KMP in relation to a company will mean the CEO of that company, the managing director of that company, the manager of the company secretary, that is the whole time company secretary of the company, the whole time directors of the company, CFO of the company, okay, and such other officers not more than one level below the board of directors who are in whole time employment, and these are designated as KMP by the board. okay, will also be included in the definition of KMP as per section 2 clause 51, okay, and such other officer as may be prescribed in the rules but currently nobody else is prescribed. So these people will be considered as your KMP. Let us just revise who all are included in your KMP: CEO, MD, manager, company secretary of the company, whole-time director, CFO, other people who are designated by the board as KMP, that is persons not more than one level below the directors who are in whole-time employment and they are given the designation of KMP by the board, will also be included in KMP, and such other officers as may be prescribed but currently nobody else is prescribed. So these are the key managerial personnel of the company. The important people in the company who are holding positions of power in the company are considered as KMP. And KMP, okay, is considered as a related party, and so is the relative of the KMP. Okay, so our KMP, say Mr. K, okay, is the CEO of the company. So Mr. K, the CEO of the company, is considered as a related party. Mrs. K, let us take the wife example, is also considered as the related party. Director, so we had seen Mr. Z, related party. Mrs. Z or any other relative is also a related party from the context of which company? Z Limited. Fine. Now, concentrate. The next point talks about a firm. Okay, like a partnership firm wherein the director or manager of the company. Director. Who was our director? Mr. Z. Okay. Or let us take, we have a manager also in the company. Let us call him Mr. M. Now manager is manager as defined under the Companies Act and not like a functional manager, say like marketing manager or something. No, this is manager as defined under the Companies Act. So these people, that is the director or the manager or their relatives. Say for example, Mrs. Z, okay, or any other relative, or Mrs. M, okay, or any other relative, okay. If these people are a partner in a partnership firm, they are partner in a which firm? Partnership firm. So then in that case, this particular firm, okay, this particular firm, say let us call this ABC and Partners, then ABC and Partners will become a related party for Z Limited. ABC and Partners will become a related party for Z Limited. I'll repeat my point. Either Mr. Z, that is the director of the company of Z Limited, or his relative Mrs. Z is a partner in ABC and Partners, then ABC and Partners and Z Limited are related parties. Or Mr. M, who is the manager of the company, okay, Z Limited, okay, either he or say his wife Mrs. M, okay, is a partner in a partnership firm called ABC and Partners, then again ABC and Partners and Z Limited will be considered as which parties? Related parties. So this is from the context of a firm. Okay, I hope this is clear. I'll repeat my point. Firm in which either the director, okay, is a partner, or the director's relative is a partner, or the manager is a partner, or the manager's relative is a partner. Fine. Now, let us go ahead and see the fourth variant of a related party, which is talking about a private company, which is talking about a which company? Private company. Let us call this private company, let us call it Y Private Limited. Now, in this private limited company, the director of our company, that is Z Limited, that is director of the company which wants to enter into a related party transactions. We are identifying related parties for Z Limited. So, the director of Z Limited, okay, Mr. Z, or his manager, Mr. M, or their relatives, say Mrs. Z or Mrs. M, is a member or is a director, is a member or is a director, then Y Private Limited, will become Z Limited's which party? Related party. Then Y Private Limited will become Z Limited's related party. I will repeat my point. Our director, okay, or his relative, Is Y Limited's, Y Private Limited's what? Member. Is Y Private Limited's what? Member. That is, they are holding, say, shares in Y Private Limited. Okay. Then Y Private Limited is going to become a related party of Z. Either the director is holding shares or his relative is holding shares, or the director is a director in Y Private Limited or his relative is a director in Y Private Limited, or the manager is holding shares, that is a member of Y Private Limited, or the manager is a director in Y Private Limited, or the manager Mr. M's relative is either a member or a director in Y Private Limited, then Y Private Limited and Z Limited will be considered as which parties? They will be considered as related parties. So the first one which we have seen is director or his relative, KMP or his relative. Then we have seen it from the context of the firm, that is the firm in which our director or our manager or their relatives is a partner. Then the firm and our company will become related parties. Then we saw a private company. In the private company, our director or our manager or their relatives is either a member or a director. Then the private company is also becoming our which party? Related party. Okay. Now let us go ahead. Give me a second. Okay. Now let us talk about a situation when a public company becomes our which party? Related party. So a public company, okay, let us call this public company, what should we call it? We will call it A Limited. We will call it A Limited. So how does A Limited and Z Limited become related parties? Now A Limited, in A Limited, our director or manager, that is Mr. Z or Mr. M, is a director. So Mr. M or Mr. Z is a director, or Mr. M or Mr. Z is a director in A Limited, but only if they are a director, then A Limited does not become our related party. Okay. But along with being a director, there is a and over here, along with being a director, they are also holding with their relatives more than what percent? 2% of the paid up share capital of A Limited. Then A Limited and Z Limited will be considered as which parties? Related parties. I will repeat my point. A Limited is a public company. In that public company, Z Limited's Mr. Z, the director, or Mr. M, the manager, is a director. So either of these two people are a director in A Limited, and plus along with that they are holding with their relatives minimum 2%, more than 2%, not minimum 2%, more than 2% of the paid up share capital of A Limited. If these two conditions are satisfied, then A Limited will become a which party? Related party to Z Limited. Then A Limited will become a related party to Z Limited. Fine. So director or manager is a director in the public company, plus he is holding with his relatives more than 2% of its paid up share capital. Okay. So we have seen related party from the context of the firm, private company and public company. Fine. Now the next situation is the situation wherein a body corporate, a particular body corporate could include anything, company, LLP, all of them are body corporate. Now listen very carefully guys, this particular body corporate, okay, their body corporates, either board of directors or managing director or their manager, they are accustomed to act. What is the word which has been used? Accustomed to act according to the advice, directions or instructions of our director or manager. Who was our director or manager? Mr. Z was the director, Mr. M was the manager. Okay. Now listen very carefully, this comes into picture generally Okay, this accustomed to act means some company is used to acting according to the instructions of our director or manager. This comes into picture especially when our director or manager is a promoter of that body corporate. Okay, is a promoter of that body corporate. Say Mr. Z, okay, Mr. Z had set up another company. We will call that company, what should we call it now? We will call that company, say, B Limited Company. Okay, now this B Limited Company is doing everything according to the directions of Mr. Z. Okay, or the directions of the manager. So B Limited, say for example, is doing everything on the directions of the director of our company, that is Mr. Z. Then in that case, if this B Limited's board of directors or MD or manager is acting according to the directions or advice of our own director, then in that case, that particular body corporate, that is B Limited, will be considered as a which party? Will be considered as a related party to Z Limited, will be considered as a related party to Z Limited. See, in B Limited, our director or manager is not a director, but the board of directors of B Limited is acting according to the directions of our director or manager. This generally happens when our director or manager is a promoter in that company. Okay, so in that case, that particular company or that particular body corporate, if it is used to acting according to the directions of our director or manager, then in that case, that particular body corporate and our company will be considered as which parties? Related parties. The word used over here is accustomed to act. The word used over here is what? Accustomed to act. Okay, I hope this point is clear. The next point is the exact reverse of this point. Okay, the reverse of the point says that if our director or manager is accustomed to act according to the directions of any person. Okay, so say for example Mr. Z or Mr. M, who are directors and manager respectively of Z Limited, they are used to act according to the direction of a person, say Mr. R. This R, say for example, was the promoter of our company Z Limited. Now our directors or manager are acting according to the directions of Mr. R. Okay, so now over here R is giving us instructions and we are acting according to his instructions. Okay, so now over here R and Z Limited will be considered as related party. Okay, so R over here will be considered as a related party for Z Limited because our director or manager is acting according to the advice or directions or instructions of this particular person. Okay, so point number 6 and point number 7 are exact opposites of each other. So if a body corporate is acting according to the directions, okay, is accustomed to act according to the directions or advice or instructions of our director or manager, then that body corporate and our company are related parties. Okay, and if any person is giving advice or directions or instructions to our director or manager, then that person and our company will be considered as related party. So from the perspective of Z Limited, Mr. R, according to whose instructions the director or manager are accustomed to act, will become related parties. Fine. But guys, always remember that this advice which is given, okay, is given because they are having some kind of a relationship, say they are promoters or whatever is their relationship, some level of personal relationship. Okay, but nothing in this clause, that is point number 6 and point number 7, is going to apply in a situation that the advice given is in professional capacity. So a lawyer is giving you an advice, or a chartered accountant is giving you some advice, company secretary is giving you some advice in professional capacity. In which capacity? Professional capacity. Then that particular person is not considered as a related party as per point number 6 or 7. This is specifically excluded because they are just giving advice in which capacity? Professional capacity. So they are not related parties. They are just giving their advice, taking their money and not keeping any association with the company as such. So according to clause 6 and 7, the advice, directions or instructions given in which capacity? Professional capacity are excluded, very specifically excluded from point number 6 and point number 7. Fine. So we have covered the definition till this part. This definition is important because if you are not able to identify who is a related party, then you will not know if the company is entering into a related party transaction or not. Let us go ahead and have a look at the further part of the definition. Okay, the next part of the definition covers situations, okay, wherein they have stated that a body corporate, which is either the holding company or the subsidiary company or the associate company of such company, will also be considered as the related party. So we are seeing it, we are identifying related parties for Z Limited. So Z Limited's holding company, Z Limited's subsidiary company, Z Limited's associate company will be considered as its which parties? Related parties. Okay. So this point is covering the body corporates. Next point over here, okay, is a little tricky. Have a look. What is it saying? Any body corporate, if you just read the section, this is what it says. Any body corporate which is the subsidiary of a holding company to which such company is also a subsidiary. Okay, subsidiary of a holding company to which such company is also a subsidiary. Let us understand this. Z Limited, say for example, is the subsidiary of another company called as H Limited. Okay. And H Limited also has another subsidiary. Let us call this subsidiary Q Limited. Okay. So over here, according to this point, subsidiary of a holding company to which such a company is also a subsidiary. Such company is a subsidiary of H Limited. Okay. H Limited also has another subsidiary Q Limited. Okay. So according to this clause, Z Limited and Q Limited will be considered as related parties. So from the perspective of Z Limited, Q Limited is considered as a which party? Related party. I hope this is clear. Okay. So another subsidiary of your holding company, in short, is considered as your related party. Fine. Going ahead. Let us have a look what is the next point saying. The next point talks about investing company or venturer company of the company. Okay, now investing company or venturer company means what? Investing company or venturer company is going to be a body corporate whose investment in the company would result in the company becoming an associate of the body corporate. When you see the word associate, okay, the thing which you will have to connect is from the definition of the word associate company, which says that you are an associate of another company in case that company is holding at least 20% of your total voting power, but you are not the subsidiary of such a company. So a company, okay, which is investing in Z Limited, say in Z Limited's 20% of the capital, for example, will make Z Limited an associate of that company. So this company which is investing, say 20% in Z Limited, this investing company will be considered as Z Limited's which party? Will be considered as Z Limited's related party. Will be considered as Z Limited's related party. Okay, so some company which is making you their associate company by investing, okay, to the extent of 20% or more, to the extent of 20% or more, but up to the extent of 50% of the total voting power, then in that case, this investing company or venturer company who's putting in money in Z Limited will be considered as Z Limited's related party. Okay. Now, as we have completed this, let us come to the last part. The last part of the definition says such other prescribed persons will be considered as which party? Related party. Okay, so which are the persons which have been prescribed under the rules? The persons who have been prescribed under the rules are directors other than independent directors or KMP of the which company? holding company of our company, okay, or their relatives will be deemed to be a related party. So according to the rules, who are the prescribed persons who are also considered as related party? So from the context of Z Limited, okay, Z Limited has a holding company, H Limited. So H Limited's director other than independent director, H Limited's KMP, their relatives, okay, will be considered as related parties from the context of Z Limited. So, director of H Limited, which is the holding company of the contracting company Z, is a related party. KMP of H Limited is related party for Z Limited. Similarly, relatives of the director of H or relatives of the KMP of H is again considered as related party from the context of Z Limited. Fine. Now, when they are saying director of H Limited, they have specifically excluded independent directors. Okay, so guys, these are the set of persons who are considered as related parties, and identification of related parties is extremely important in case you intend to answer a question in the exam paper. Now we will go ahead and look at the procedural aspects of entering into a transaction with a related party.